everyone, it's me, the zombie kid. So today, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Now I saw Wish, the movie Wish, like yesterday, but I'm not going to make a movie review about it. I'm not going to review it. Instead, I'm going to do something a little bit different. The villain of that movie, finally, we actually got a villain! We actually got a real villain after like 3 years of like this family drama, trust issue stuff. We actually got a real antagonist, finally! Well, I mean, the villain. I guess I can't try to pull. She wasn't the villain, but she was an antagonist. But yeah, we got an actual villain. We have a villain. Finally! We got a villain. Like, come on, bro. I've always wanted when the villains went at Disney. And we finally got a villain. Everybody. We finally got a villain. But yeah. But this time, the villain isn't as cut and clear. He isn't as clear. His motives and his character, I don't think is actually very clear. This is a very different villain from the traditional Disney villains like Scar, Jafar, Ursula, Gaston, all those people. This is a different kind of villain. His character is really interesting. And people often, that's a big complaint people have with this movie. Personally, I thought it was a pretty decent movie. Had problems, but it was a good movie. A big complaint people have about it is that the villain just seemed, it felt like that they had a different writing team for one half of the movie and second half because the villain was just so different. This character didn't feel consistent. And I can see where people are coming from here. Like, one half of the movie, he doesn't, now for the first half of the movie, he doesn't want to steal it, he doesn't want to grant all the wishes. And although we do kind of know there is maybe a selfish reason there, he might kind of just wants to keep the power. We also kind of think that he might have a good reason for that. It's that he doesn't want his home the island get destroyed. The town. However, in the second half, he's in care. He does not care. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't. He's just a full-on heartless antagonist. Well, I'm going to tell you that his character is way more consistent than you might think. No, it's way more consistent. They actually did a better job making him consistent than you think. He's much more of a consistent character throughout the movie than you think. He does have a main character drive throughout the entire movie. He does. So today, let's explain. I'm going to do the ultimate character analysis into King Magnifico. Because, yeah, that's the villain of this movie. Also, yeah, huge spoilers for, Wish. Please, huge spoilers for Wish. Why are you watching this if you've not seen Wish, bro? If you have not seen Wish, do not watch this video, please. Just watch Wish. It's a pretty decent movie. It's worth the money that costs. Okay, anyway, let's just begin the character analysis of King Magnifico. So, when we first get introduced to King Magnifico at the beginning of the movie. In fact, we get introduced to him before we even get introduced to our main protagonist. I completely forgot her name. It's that, the main character, Allison, Alea, no, it's not it, whatever, close enough. But, yeah. Before we even get introduced to the main protagonist, we get introduced to the main antagonist, the villain, King Magnifico. Now, he was somebody who realized that wishes couldn't be granted. He was sad because a lot of people had wishes. A lot of the time, they ended up destroyed, broken. So he becomes a sorcerer and tries to grant people's wishes. Him and his wife sail across an island. They start this civilization, and if they get to live there completely free of any rent and all that, if they give him their wishes, which is extremely sus when you think about it. That's extremely sus. That's extremely sus. It's so that he can grant them. But on the other hand, yeah, it kind of feels like I'll get back to this in a bit. I'll get back to this in a second, but yeah. Off the bat, he kind of seems like a suspicious character off the bat. I do believe that he truly maybe started with some good intentions, though I do believe, people might think, well, the movie is trying to imply to us that book corrupted him. This is a big point of the video. Although the movie might make us believe, some of the things here might make us believe that the book corrupted him, it changed him, I'm here to tell you that did not happen. The book did not corrupt him. Now, people heard in the second half, he just gets corrupted by the book and he becomes like full evil. And like all the complexity that he's had before was just wiped away. But guess what? I truly believe that it's a lot. His character is consistent. First off, I don't think he gets possessed by the book. But secondly, I believe that he never had a good reason for not granting people's wishes. He never had a good reason. You might be thinking, what the heck, dude? Bro, oh, we think that, yeah, he kind of wants some power, but he also has kind of a good reason. They might use it to destroy his home, destroy their home. Well, let me rephrase that. He's afraid that they'll use a wish to overthrow him. Yeah, I honestly believe that he never had a single good intention. There has never been a good intention in there not granting wishes. He never had any good intentions. He has never had good intentions from the start. That's what I believe. Think about it. When he talks to the main character about why he isn't granting a grandfather's wish, by the way, he's 100, and he's very healthy, which makes me think that he might know some sorcery too, but that's for another day. Let's talk about this. Now, for reasons, he talks about this. He might form an angry mob. Now, you might think, well, that could kind of destroy the civilization. But at the same hand, at the same time, I believe that what he's really afraid about when he talks about an angry mob. Because most of the time, if you're in something like this and someone forms an angry mob, when you form an angry mob like this, what he's referring to, you're not trying to destroy like, what's that place called again? I forgot. But yeah, that place, they are trying to overthrow the king. I think that the whole reason he doesn't grant people's wishes, the entire reason from almost the start of the story, from basically the start of the story, the whole reason he takes people's wishes, the whole reason he takes people's wishes, and the whole reason that he doesn't grant them is to stay in power. Not only do the wishes contain power for him, but he doesn't really know how powerful they are until like later on in the movie. However, the main reason is that he's afraid that if he grants 2 big wishes, they might use them to take him, to overthrow him, take him out of power, make him lose his power. It's all about his power. He just doesn't want to be able to. The whole reason he isn't granting wishes is so that he doesn't lose power. He doesn't get overthrown. He doesn't want to get overthrown and lose power because he's afraid. If he grants wishes, the wish might be to overthrow him and become the king. And he doesn't want to risk losing power. I believe that from the start of the movie till the end, his only motive was one thing. Power. Just like the fight, it's good. They want power. However, this is a little bit more interesting. He did it a little bit in an interesting, different way this time. It's not very clear. Like, first we think that he's just such a good person, and maybe he did kind of start off with good intentions. They say that those that hell is paved with good intentions. And I actually kind of think this villain symbolizes that really great. He does. This villain symbolizes that really great. He started off with good intentions, but then he craved the power. He liked being king and craved the power. And I believe that book, the book didn't do anything to change his personality. The book didn't do anything to change his personality. It didn't. Let me explain. Think about this. Something I noticed about this movie is that the weird, dark book, dark magic thing, it's very familiar to me and probably a lot of you guys who've been watching this. Because another Disney property last year has done the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. In that movie, it starts off in WandaVision, but Wanda Maximoff gets this book called The Darkhold, and she reads it, and she gets corrupted. She gets corrupted with dark magic. It might give her magic, powers that she's never seen before, but it also corrupted her. And you know the same thing, you could say the same thing about Magnifico in this movie. You could say the same thing about Magnifico. You could. Magnifico, that's literally what happens to Magnifico in this movie. Like, that's what happens to him in the book. Or at least, you think it is. Well, basically, he wants more power, so he opens up a book with dark magic, and although he has more power, it corrupts him. However, there's one major difference that makes me kind of wonder if this is the case. Well, in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Wanda gets redeemed. She realizes, well, I don't want to get into too much detail about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in this movie, so I'm not going to say details. Basically, she decides to, not kill America's office to your kids again, and she basically sacrifices herself. She redeems herself. She sacrifices herself to save everyone. Well, she might still be alive, but that's for another day. She might still be alive. People have come on some stuff that might make me think she's alive. But I'm getting into a whole different topic right now. This is about which that's actually in Multiverse of Madness. That you old movie. But yeah. Anyway. She can see, however, Magnifico doesn't. If he got corrupted, like they say he did, don't you think they would have found a way to redeem him? Don't you think that they would have somehow redeemed him? Like maybe his wife could have came and said, hey, dude, can you please just, you can't do this. The book's up to you. And maybe he could somehow realize what he was doing. He could destroy the book and save the day. Maybe even sacrifice himself. However, they don't do that. They don't do that. He gets trapped in this, one thing that he created, and he gets locked in the dungeon. That makes me think that there's more to this than meets the eye. I believe that the book didn't possess him. It didn't possess him. I believe what the book did is all it gave him was power. He was always power hungry. What his power is. You can sense, even at the beginning of the movie, you can kind of tell that he's kind of really only wants the power. As I established before, the whole reason he doesn't grant wishes is probably just because he wants to stay in power. And wishes make him feel powerful. However, so he wants power. That's what he craves. So when he opens that book and gets that power, he's happy because he's getting power. Before, he thought he had all the power in the world. That's why we didn't see him, trying to collect more power. Because he thought that if he kept doing things as he did before, granting some wishes that weren't so dangerous, for show, probably. A big reason he did that was probably so that people would think they'd get their own wishes granted. But yeah, the reason he probably did that, was so happy was because he thought he could get more power. He thought he had all the power he could possibly get on that island, being the ruler of that island nation, whatever. He thought he had all the power he could get. He had all of the wishes. He was a king. However, when he saw more power, his power-hungry side came out. All that book did, was take off the mask that he was hiding in and reveal himself. All it did was reveal the true person he was. The movie even tries to tell us this. There's that one song that's literally about how they shouldn't have ever trusted him and how they're finally seeing his true colors. It's the book didn't change his true colors. The book only showed his true colors. Think, we even see a time, even before he starts using the dark magic, this might be after, even then, when he crushes the main character's mom's memory, he feels the same way. Powerful. Now that he realizes that those memories can be used to get even more power than he already had, he was happy about it. I believe that if he found that out soon in the movie, he would also, even then, he'd want to continue getting that power. Even at the beginning of the movie, I believe that he would have reacted the same way. Because he was always a power-hungry creep. But he power hungry guy. But he just wanted more. But he thought he had all the power he possibly get. But when he saw an opportunity for more power, he struck. There is one thing that we have to acknowledge before we end this video. One thing. He does. Earlier in the movie, before he has opens his book, he considers it. When he finds out that that girl's betrayed him. By the way, the fact that he gets upset about that someone else is using magic, just goes to show. He's afraid that if someone uses magic, they will take his power. He only cares about power. And the fact that he's so afraid when that main character girl uses magic, just shows you. That is a big part of the movie. But yeah, he considers opening it up. However, his wife convinces him not to. He actually decides not to do it. The same guy who only wanted power decides not to use it. That's because I believe that for the whole reason that he didn't open the book until he did was because he had it all along. It was because he was afraid that he could ruin what he had built. He was afraid that he could become so powerful, he could have become more reckless and could have destroyed everything they built. He was afraid that if he did that, he could destroy everything they built. And he didn't want to do that because he likes the power he had. And he kind of maybe even killed a little bit about those people. But whatever. He didn't want to lose that town because it was his source of power. So he didn't want to lose that town. And he might have even killed about some of the people. However, there's one key scene. It's when everyone questions him. It's when he has a meeting and everyone questions him. Everyone just questions him, gets upset, wonders if that's what makes him snap. You know the scene. It's the scene right before. It's the thanks I get. Is that the thanks I get? By the way, that is the thanks I get song. Is way underrated. It's actually a pretty good villain song because that song shows him snapping. Well, before he just kind of just wanted to he was happy with the power he had. Before he liked having. Well, before he wasn't willing to risk losing all power he had to get more power. It maybe wasn't really lose his town. When he saw before that. When he talks about the person stealing, who threatened him, people question him. People question his power, and that made him mad. They also, in a way, threatened him, just like the main protagonist did. They also, in a way, threatened him, and that made him snap. Because, he was kind of power hungry. He did do quite a lot for them. He did quite a lot for them. Why is this so? Oh, I need to turn off the brightness on here. Hold on, I'll leave it in this weird brightness. He did it. He snapped. By the way, this is actually kind of fitting. He snapped. That song shows you everything you need to know. That song is really cool. Oh, the brightness just came up. Well, okay, I'm just figuring out how to control brightness in these videos. But yeah, let's continue. This guy just found out. He did a lot for him. He let them live in this place without rent and gave him a pretty decent life. And after all of that, they threatened his power. They questioned him. They made him feel like they took away a little bit of his power. They made him feel like he lost a little bit of power. And they also crushed him, threatened him. And that made him mad. That made him decide that he was going to do it. He was going to do it. No questions asked. He was going to do it. He was going to open that book up. And yeah, I believe that's important. He only cared about power the entire movie. The only reason he doesn't do what he does in the climax of this movie later is because he's afraid of risking it all to get more power. That's the entire reason. However, when he sees all the people, he decides he doesn't even care about them anymore. He lost care. He might have even had a little bit of care for that. Have some care for that place, that island area that he ruled over. But after they questioned him, made him feel like he lost some of his power over them. Once he lost some of his power over them, once they questioned him, that made him snap. That made him decide to do what he does. That made him decide it. I might even go as far as saying that he kind of maybe a little bit wanted to do what he does and climax the entire time. The entire movie. The only reason he doesn't is because he doesn't want to lose it all. And he may even care about people a bit. But that sees him snap. And that is also about power. When they were all questioning him about how someone threatened him, that made him lose even more power and control over the people than he had already lost that girl threatened him. He felt like he lost even more power. And he really loved power. So yeah. So he had to do something about it. So yeah, that's the ultimate character analysis in the King Magnifico. And he was always that way. Like, he doesn't ever become evil. I don't think he ever becomes evil. He just always kind of is. He always is. Why do you think he gets worse? Why do you think that he becomes way worse when he feels like he's losing power? He was always power hungry. He was always a power hungry, manipulative person. And I think that's a pretty good message of this movie. People complain that Wish didn't really have a message like Encanto and even Raya Lost Dragon did. However, it does. Its message is that people can do good while not necessarily having the best intentions. Like, really, he was doing good. He was doing some good against people's wishes. However, he didn't really have the best intentions. I think that's the hidden meaning. That's the hidden meaning of this movie. It's that our leaders, our politicians, our leaders, you might think they really only care about power. That's the message that this movie has. Our politicians only care about power. A lot of leaders only care about power, and they'll do everything they want to get more of it. And a lot of times, power can truly make a person go, like, I believe Magnifico started off with good intentions. To get people's wishes, have a good time. But then, once he started getting power, once he started getting power, he felt like he needed to keep it. He even felt like he wanted more power, which is why he didn't want to grant other people's wishes, because he was afraid that he could lose that power if he granted unspecific wishes or dangerous wishes, which is why, and that's the message. Like, and I think another message of this movie is that you have to do the right thing. Without expecting anything in return. Like, although he was doing good deeds, he expected respect. He expected power, control over the people. However, he didn't get that. Kind of like how in a way, he's kind of the opposite of the main character, because the main character, she's always doing good deeds for everyone. However, she doesn't expect anything in return. I think that's the main message, is that power can make a person go mad, even when they have good intentions. If they get power, they will do. I think this is the message. I've said it a couple times, and I'm kind of like remembering in my head. But I believe that politicians are only a lot of people. Like, people can have good intentions, but if they get power, a lot of times that can make them lose their good intentions. Even if they start with good intentions, if they can get power and money, that can make them go bad. Lose their good intentions and start doing whatever it takes to get more of that and keep what they already gotten. Anyway, that's all for this video. Did you like my character analysis of King Magnifico? If so, maybe like this video and please subscribe to me. Please, it help me out a lot. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Bye.